Hey, y'all. I am back with another Yarn Everywhere podcast. This is podcast episode number 40. It has been quite a while. I know at least a few weeks since I have done a podcast. So life has been crazy. I know y'all are here to see what I've been working on and all the things ALC, but I'm just going to tell y'all why I have been completely quiet for a couple of weeks. So I ended up having to have surgery. Completely crazy. Thanksgiving was a blur. And I'm super sad because we were unable to spend Thanksgiving with our family because I was so sick. My husband was sick. I kept having these stomach attacks. And I honestly thought it was an ulcer, and it's been going on for a while. So I changed my diet. The attacks kind of went away, but they would flare up every once in a while. And I thought I knew like what the triggers were. So I steered clear of that kind of food and stuff. But it just kept getting worse. And I had one, it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's like this super intense pain in your stomach. And I couldn't get away from it. Like the only way that I could get any type of relief is to like soak in super hot water. So I'd spend my nights in my bathtub. Not cool. And then Sunday I woke up and I felt a lot better, just, super tired, all the things. Well, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the same thing happened. Like 2:30 in the morning, I wake up and I am hurting. And y'all, the pain, I can't explain it. It's unbearable. Like you cannot get away from it. I could get in a hot bath and I could get enough relief to where I wasn't like out of my mind with pain. Anyways, this went on for almost 4 days. And finally that Saturday evening, I was just sobbing. I would tell my husband, "It's like, I can't take it anymore. I cannot go one more night like this." And so he took me to the emergency room, and they ended up doing a CT scan, and come to find out it wasn't a stomach ulcer, it was gallbladder. I had a gallstone, and they told me that the gallstone was massive. It was 3 centimeters. And he said, the good thing is that it's not going anywhere. So the chance of it like breaking up and, going anywhere, it was too big to move. But the bad news was I needed it to come out like as soon as possible. So, they were able to get me to where I wasn't hurting, and I was able to get a little bit of sleep. By the time I got home, I was kind of hurting again. Long story short, Monday, I called the surgeon that I wanted to use, and he was able to get me in the very next day. And then he was able to schedule my surgery for 2 days later. So, a week after Thanksgiving, I had surgery, had my gallbladder removed, and I'm so grateful. I mean, it was crazy. It was a wild ride, but at least I'm no longer in pain, and I never have to worry about having one of those attacks again. Recovery's been interesting. I am not one to sit still. I am not one to really slow down. Like I want to get up and do what I want to do. And so it's been very challenging. But I will say, I feel like I was just worn slap out before surgery for being down a week. And really not being able to eat or sleep much. Really just didn't have a choice. It took me like a week to like, I think really a lot of it was the anesthesia. I'm a lightweight when it comes to any kind of like pain medicine or anesthesia. Like I didn't even take the pain medicine that they prescribed me. He prescribed me when I saw him in his office. He gave me a really mild pain medicine, and I did take that. But like the hardcore stuff, I'm like, I'm not touching it. So, anyways, it was interesting. And then the hard part has been, now that I am feeling a lot better, I'm still a little sore from surgery. I had an organ removed. But the hard part is getting my mind to slow down, like slow my body down, because I'm thinking I can just jump back in and dye yarn like I used to and all the things. I get tired quicker, and I can't do as much. I can't lift as much. So it's been interesting. But all I'm going to say after this is I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful that it happened when it did, because I was able to get my yarn club out on time. And even though I'm dyeing the yarn later for my yarn club, I still believe I'm going to be able to get it out on time or close to it this month. It's been crazy, but I'm grateful to no longer be in pain and be on the road to recovery and to be podcasting again. I have missed everybody, and to start kind of getting active on social media again. I like lost 2 weeks of my life. It's just crazy. And I miss Thanksgiving with my family and all that good food. So I'm looking forward to some good food for Christmas and to spend time with family and all the things. And now I'm going to jump in and show you what I've been working on for the last couple weeks. The other part of that is after surgery, I was still just so tired. I really couldn't crochet or knit for a while and I missed it. And the same with like prior to surgery. Like I had all this time where I couldn't do anything and I was laying around and I was in too much pain to knit or crochet. I've made up for lost time while I've been resting. I'm just going to dive right in and show y'all what I've been working on. Y'all, I have 2 of these bags. They're from Bink Waffle and they're called dumpling bags. I love, love, love them. I'm working on a sunshined iced tea or coffee cozy. I haven't really gotten very far on it. I did whip up a few to take to the local tea shop because we had a thing in our town. We have a town square, and every year they do this big thing with all the shops, and everybody can go shop, and they have sales and all this fun stuff. I missed that because I was in pain, but I was able to get some tea cozies to them so they could sell them while there was a bunch of traffic going through. Now I'm trying to restock their supply again, but I'm kind of slow because I have some big projects that I wanted to finish. So that's kind of been my focus. I'll talk about this when I talk about finished whips. I'm also working on some knit dishcloths. My aunt Sue, when my 2 aunts and my father were here visiting, she showed me how to knit dishcloths. I call them washcloths, but they're dishcloths, but I use the word interchangeably. So just overlook me. When I say washcloth, I mean dishcloth. Anyway, so I started one of these a while ago and I haven't gotten back to it. But I love the feel of a knit dishcloth. I don't know. It's so squishy and stretchy and it just feels amazing. And I lost the yarn wrap label, but this is Dishy. This is Dishy cotton and I love Dishy cotton. That is another whip that I'm working on. And socks, y'all. I haven't knit socks, I think, since my last podcast. It's been super weird that I haven't been knitting socks. So I'll show you, but I'm pretty sure I'm at the same point that I was at the last podcast. I am knitting these for a friend of mine, and I'm not going to say her name because I think it's kind of a surprise. Unless my mom has spilled the beans. I don't think she has, but it's kind of a surprise. Might not be as big as a surprise as I think, but I'm knitting these for a friend, and this is the first one. So I've got a ways to go. Once I finish these bigger projects, I'm going to get back to knitting socks because I really do miss it. Like, I think I'm having withdrawals. And then I have another sock whip. And this is the second one. And I'm so close to being done with it. And this is my Yarnicorn colorway. This is the one that I finished. I finally remembered to add the Papa color on the toe. I'm so close to being there for this one. I will tell you what I did. I don't know exactly how I did this, but I probably just wasn't paying attention. Somehow I don't remember because it's been a while, but somehow I have I think 16, no. Somehow I don't remember the numbers, but somehow I have 2 less stitches on one side versus the other. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know where this happened at. I'm just going with it. So I'm hoping these socks are not going to be all kinds of wonky. They're for me. So if they're wonky, I'm the only one that's going to know. Well, I mean, you are now because I spilled the beans, but I don't know. I have to have full concentration when I'm knitting socks, especially when I get to the decrease part. And sometimes the concentration just isn't there. And if you like this colorway, I still have some of these in my shop. It's called Yarnicorn Sock Set, and I have it on DK weight and sock weight. And there's a couple of sets left. If you're looking for some yarn, I got you covered. And I'll have a link to my shop in the description below. Okay, what other whips do I have? I've been talking for a minute about the big projects that I'm trying to finish. So I'm going to show you the big project that I'm so close to being done with, and I cannot wait to finish it. But first, I needed some tea. Also, this is one of my favorite project bags. It's a Vera Bradley shopping bag. We have a Vera Bradley outlet. I don't know, it's about like 45 minutes to an hour for me. And anytime you buy something from them, this is the bag that they put your goodies in. And I have 2 of them now, and I'm so proud of them because it's just a big tote bag, and you can just dump your stuff in there. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is the big project. I know I've shown y'all this before. It's the Copland Shawl by Expression Fiber Arts. It's what I'm wearing. This yarn is so gorgeous. If y'all remember back in, I think July, when I did the Arkansas Yarn Crawl and I had a trunk show at Arkansas Yarn Co., I was able to shop around in Lori's store, and oh my gosh, what a gorgeous yarn store. And I saw this yarn that was dyed by Lori, and I had to have it. I don't remember the names of all the yarn, but I did find one of the labels, and I'm pretty sure this one is called Zombie in a Tutu. And I love grays and pinks and purples. I think this color is rose gold, and I don't remember the gray color. It's so gorgeous. Look at that. And I'm so close to being done. One of the reasons I'm like so eager to get done with this project is because I need this yarn for another project. Tony Lipsy with TL Yarn Crafts has a pattern, a crochet pattern called the Juniper Cowl. And one of my Yarn Club members posted in the Yarn Club group, I don't even know, I think it was last year. It was either last year or earlier this year. She posted a picture of her Juniper Cowl, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. Searching hashtags on Instagram, looking at all of the cowls, obsessed. And I'm like, I really want to make one. But at that point, I was not using fingering weight yarn. Once I started using fingering weight yarn, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use the scraps from these to make that cowl, because I really loved the idea of using either mini skeins or scraps and using like 10 to 12 different colors, and I just think it's going to be gorgeous. I'm super excited about that. And I'm also super excited about finishing this because I love wearing these. And this will be my second knit shawl that I've ever finished. This is my first, and I'm so proud of it. Like, it just makes my heart so happy that I finally finished it, because I think I've been working on this for a year. That's the big project, one of the big projects that I needed to finish. And then I finished the other one. That leads me to showing y'all all the things that I have finished. Oh, but first, I'm going to show you all the scrap yarns that I'm planning on using for the Juniper Cowl. I believe I'm going to start with pink, because I think I want the pink up by my face. And then I will probably go to one of the grays. I don't think it's this one. I'm just going to show y'all. I think I can drop a photo in here to show you all of the colors together, but I'm just going to try my best to hold them all. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see how well I can balance. Okay. So I've got these colors, this color, which is in the color I'm wearing now. And I've got just a teeny, I haven't weighed any of these. I've got a teeny tiny bit of the darker one left. Ooh, yeah, can I do it? Do you think I can? Ooh, okay. Now I just need to like not breathe. Okay. This is fun. Okay. And then I have a dark gray that I don't know where I'm going to put. And then I have this color, which is the birthday party yarn that I knit some socks with. And then, oh, I was so close, y'all. I literally just grabbed the last one. Okay. And then I have this color, which was a colorway from this January's Yarn Club. And I can't remember what it was called. I don't remember. These are the colors that I'm going to use. And let's see. And this color from the other Copland Shawl. So let's see if I can do this again. I don't think I'm going to get as lucky. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you stay there? Y'all, I think. You know what? If anything else with this podcast, at least you're gonna be entertained. Like, you just never know what I'm gonna no, don't do it. You just never know what I'm gonna say or do. So, here we go. I did it. I did it. Y'all, this is talent. These are the colors I'm gonna use. I think I know what order I'm gonna put them in because I have another yarn club member that I have been chatting with, and she is going to make one, and she showed me her colors. No, no, I think she's gonna make one. Anyways, she got an advent calendar from me, and she was laying out the colors and telling me about the project she was going to use, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's perfect. Like, I loved the way that she laid out the colors, and with my ADHD brain, like, I want to focus and I want to figure it out, but most of the time I just jump in and just kind of figure it out as I go. But I've waited so long to make this. I was like, I really want to be organized, and I kept looking at the yarn, and I could not focus. I sent her a picture last night, and she is so cool. Thank you, Kristen. She, like, literally numbered each one. I'm really excited. Actually, I think I can just show you a picture. So she numbered each one as how she would do the colors, and I think she nailed it, y'all. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Start with number 1 because I really want the pink by my face. I'm really excited. I may switch them up a little. I don't know yet. Anyways, I'm really excited to get started. If you can't tell, because that's all I've talked about for like almost 20 minutes. Now, as promised, I'm gonna jump into what I have finished. I finished my little nephew's baby blanket. It's so sweet and so squishy. And look at the texture. Don't get too excited because I don't know when this is going to happen, but I really want to get this pattern typed up and get it into testing because I've had a lot of people ask about this, and it's such an easy beginner friendly pattern. And I think this is going to be my go-to pattern for blankets in the future, baby blankets, or I really want to make a blanket for me. And every time I go to make a blanket, I'm like searching for patterns, or I would just kind of make one up. And I loved how they turned out, but there was always just something that I was like, "Oh, I wish it was just a little different." And I think I found the one. Help me come up with a name for this. At first, I was gonna call it the Amelia blanket because my niece, my honorary niece, had a baby, and I made a baby blanket for her. But I think it's good for boys too, boys or girls. So I don't really want to name it a name. And then I thought about, y'all know by now that it's hard for me to name stuff. And then I thought about just calling it like the squishy baby blanket or squishiest baby blanket ever. I don't know. Help me. Let me know what you think I should name it. I'm super excited, and my nephew's here now. So I'm super late getting this out. I had planned on sending it a couple weeks ago, and then life happened. They got discharged yesterday and went home, and I got the sweetest video of my other nephew who is, how old is he? 16 months old, I think. He was born in August of 2021. So however long that is. Anyways, and it was the sweetest video because he had the biggest smile and he kept wanting to touch him, but he was just like, he didn't know what to do. So he'd like put his hands there and he'd like look at his parents, and then he'd smile and he'd take his hands back. It was the sweetest thing. I probably have watched that video 50 times. I'm dying now. Like, I need to get to Arizona to get my hands on my nephews. My other nephew's getting so big and he's just at such a fun age. It's really hard. Like, I wanted to just like jump on an airplane and be like, you know what? I'm just going to put life on hold for a minute and I'm going to go see my nephews. But that's just not this time of year, and just having surgery, it's just not possible. But I'm probably going to be going out there pretty soon, even if it's just for like a really quick weekend. The other big project that I just had to finish because one, I really wanted to finish so I could use it, and two, I needed the yarn for the juniper cowl, is my sassy wrap. Pay no attention to the ends that have not been weaved in yet. Oh, I wish I could get away with tucking these ends in and wearing it, but there's just way too much. Like, literally, look, let me fold it. Like, look. Somebody send chocolate in an adult, and preferably an adult that knows how to weave in ends. I'll pay you in yarn. Kidding. I mean, if you really wanted to, come on. Like, I wouldn't be sad. I did start the other night and I got that far. I mean, it's progress, right? And then I actually think I started in the other end too. Did I? I did. So look, I've got, you know, oh, well, there's some right there. I've made a little bit of progress, okay? But look how gorgeous it is, y'all. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to be done with this. Look at these they're so like these are my colors. Oh, and this is the dress that I'm probably going to be, wearing it with because I just think, let's see, how can I do this? Black and gray is it's just my thing. So anyways, I'm excited to be so close to being finished with this and leave it in the ends. Think I'm gonna have to bribe myself with a cup of like hot chocolate and be like, okay, once I weave in the ends, I can have a cup of hot chocolate. I have not had a cup of hot chocolate in like a month. Hopefully, the next podcast, I will be showing you this finished and I'll have pictures and all the things. This past Sunday at church, I wore this with this same style dress. Y'all, when I find something I like I want it in every color. But it was a teal dress. I loved it. I wore it as I folded it in half like this and just wore it as a scarf. And it was so warm and cozy. And then I got a little chilly in church and then I could just kind of roll it down and have it over my shoulders. So I'm excited. I have 3 of them now. And I really want to start another one, but I'm making myself wait because I've got a big project I'm trying to finish. And then I want to start that juniper cowl. So I'm like, okay. And then I have socks to do. So I'm trying to rein myself in, but we'll see how long that lasts because y'all know I'm always starting a new project. I needed some quick projects because long projects, I get bored easily. I have a pattern called the Farmhouse Hot Pad. And I love these things. Anytime I get a hot pan out of the oven, this is what I'm throwing it on because I don't know. I think they're so pretty. And they're super handy. Look how thick they are. So these are the colors I have so far. And I also have this big roll of teal. I love this color too. So I'll be making some with that. Oh, y'all, I'm so sad because I remembered that I had this gray macrame cord and I only had one small skein of it. And it says it's 75 feet. I'm making this for my mother-in-law. Some of these for my mother-in-law for Christmas. And I'm like, ooh, I'll make her a gray one. And then I'm going to make me a gray one. Well, this is literally there may be 6 feet of it left. And so I only made one out of that one small skein of rope. So if you're going to buy macrame cord, buy the big one because you're going to get more bang for your buck. How pretty is this? I selfishly want to keep this, but I'm not going to because I made it with the intention of giving it to her. So these 3 are going to be hers for Christmas. And then y'all know when I make something that I really like, I tend to binge. So I made more. I made 3 more. Pay no attention to the ends. Hey, you know what? I did these 3. I weaved in the ends on these 3. And then I'm like, nah, I'll get to these. I think it's more I think it's more so that I could just make a bunch and then I'll go back and weave in the ends, right? Mhm. I've used an entire roll of that natural color, and I ordered more on Amazon because, I had to. And they had some gray, so I got some gray. So I ordered some more of the natural color, and I ordered a gray color, and they're supposed to be here today. So I can't wait to see. I hope that gray is as pretty as this gray. I will drop the link to get this free pattern. It's a crochet pattern. I'll drop the link for y'all to get the free crochet pattern PDF. So you can whip up some really fast last minute gifts if you need them. And you don't have to use macrame cord. You could double I probably wouldn't double. I would probably triple or quadruple strand cotton yarn. It would be a good way to bust your stash of cotton yarn. I love the macrame cord. I just love the way it feels and I love the look. So that's what I use. I also finished a Brecon triangle cowl. Look at this. It is so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. This is a gift for somebody, so sadly I won't be keeping it. I need to block it. Then I'm going to take some pictures of it before I wrap it up and gift it. I used the colorway Night Closes in, and I think it was from my August Yarn Club. August Yarn Club theme was Chasing Sunsets, and I believe this was a colorway from that month, and I'm just obsessed with it. It's so pretty. This pattern is one of my designs, and I haven't released it yet because I really want to do a crochet along, but it's been one thing after another. I can't decide if I want to just go ahead and release it because I've had so many people ask me about it, or if I want to wait and do a crochet along. So help me decide. Should I just go ahead and release it? And then if I decide to do a crochet along anyways, I mean, people that haven't bought the pattern can go ahead and buy the pattern. I don't know why I'm so weird about this stuff. Like I try to like plan things out and then things don't go as planned. So literally this has been, I don't even know. I know it's been 6 months or more since I've designed it because I ended up doing a crochet along with my yarn club members. And I want everybody to enjoy it because I used one skein of yarn and it makes a really good size. Of course, I've got this other one on here under here, but it makes a really good size one. And of course, there's directions in there where you could do color work and use 2 different colors and that you can make it bigger. I personally like my cowls to stop about here. I don't know why, but I just prefer them that way. Of course, this one is like massive. Like it goes like it's huge. Of course, I've been moving around a lot, so it's not even straight anymore, but it's huge. But I still like it. But I think for like the crocheted ones and the way that they lay, I like them to be a little bit short. I think I need to just go ahead and release the pattern. All right. The other thing I have finished is a knit ear warmer. Ignore the ends. I think I just need to have a disclaimer at the very beginning of all the podcasts, like pay no attention to the ends that need weaved in. It's a thing, okay? It's just a thing. Let me just tuck up in there, okay? So it won't distract us. I absolutely love it. I don't know if I properly know how to bind off. I've like Googled and YouTubed. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's cute. I just kind of made up the pattern and I just love the squishy feel of it. And I used single ply super bulky yarn and it was a colorway I released last year. And I think it was called, what was this called? I keep wanting to say it was called Hissy Fit, but it's not Hissy Fit. It was the other one. I had them 2 at the same time. I can't remember. I know my yarn club members will remember. But anyways, I loved this colorway. I really wanted to do a beanie hat with it, but I only had 1 skein of it. You could probably make a toddler-sized beanie with it. I really needed 2 skeins. So I ended up just doing an ear warmer with it, and I think it's so pretty. And I just kind of made up the pattern, and I'm like, oh gosh, what did I just do? I barely know how to read a knit pattern, and I just made up a knit pattern and I don't know what to do with it. So hopefully there's one out there because I have no idea how to write a knit pattern or get it tested. Like, I'm sure it's probably the same process, but I'm like, I have no business making up any kind of knit pattern because I don't know what I'm doing. But those are all my whips. I had more than what I realized. Oh, I forgot one. So I have a knit washcloth that I finished. So I have some friends that have brown in their kitchen. Y'all know I'm not a brown girl. I was shocked that I had a solid brown cotton yarn in my stash. Like I was like, where did this come from? Did somebody send me this as a joke or was I feverish when I bought it? I don't know. Maybe I had them in mind when I bought it. I am knitting some washcloths for them. But y'all look, like they're wonky. I think I'm going to have to block them. Please tell me that if I block it, it will all look pretty. But you can clearly see like the decrease side. Hopefully you can clearly see. It's like I'm way looser than the increase side. So I don't know. I'm not impressed with my dishcloth knitting skills, but I'm hoping that it's just part of it. And if I block it, it'll be really pretty. Because if it's a gift for somebody, like I want it to look nice and I don't use brown. I'm going to try blocking it and see if it turns out pretty. But if not, I'm going to quit my journey of knitting dishcloths and just go back to crocheting them because they're all lopsided. Kinda like my kinda like my cowl going on over here, I don't even know. Oh, so the other finished item is this Copland shawl. Y'all, I don't pay attention, I don't read directions, and I just kept knitting. I kept knitting until I almost ran out of yarn. Well, I actually did run out of one of the colors. Pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was the speckle color. Yeah, I ran out of that color. And then I get to the end and I'm like, "Okay, so I don't actually know how to cast off." It's the thing. I was like, I learned just enough to be dangerous and to get started, and then when I get to something I don't know, I'll learn that so I can go further. It's just how I roll. But anyway, so I was like, "Oh, I think I was halfway done with this when I was like, "Oh, I actually don't know how to finish it. Like, what do I do?" One of my friends that actually fixed this for me because I made an error, she sent me a YouTube video tutorial. Y'all, this thing is all wonky. Let me try to fix it. But I couldn't find which message it was in, so I just Googled. Hold, please. Okay, I got it fixed as good as it's gonna get. I definitely think I'm gonna have to get out my pretty shawl cuffs and like cuff this thing into place. I'm new to wearing these and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, back to my story. I did the whole bind off thing. Then the edges were just rolled up. Like you can see now. I've blocked it. I thought blocking it would fix it. Then I read the pattern and I realized that there's actually a border that you're supposed to do. And I was like, whoopsies. I already cast off and did the bind off thing and I'm done. So I'm not undoing that because number 1, I have no idea how to undo it. And number 2, this thing took me forever. So I'm just going to deal with it. You're new to knitting, read the entire pattern. And when you get close to ending, like look at the pattern again. Don't just go by memory. Don't be Nikki. I think it's going to be fine. You know what? It's my first one. I'm tickled with it. And if the edges roll up, they just roll up. I'm really not sad about it. There's probably a way that I could, I don't know if this is the thing, but I thought about casting on again. I don't know. I'm sure there's some way that I could add to this maybe and add the border, but I'm kind of out of yarn. Or I have yarn, but it's for another project. So I'm just saying I'm out of yarn. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. And it's just a lesson learned. I'll just have to block this thing every time I use it. And honestly, I don't think it looks bad. Like, I think if I wouldn't have said anything, most people wouldn't even have known that's not how it's supposed to look. I don't know. What would you do? Let me know. Let me know what you do. I think I'm just going to leave it at least for a while because this sucker took me a year and I'd like the idea of like working on it again just makes me a little sad. Oh, that's all the craziness that has been going on over here. Let me tell you, it feels so good to almost be back to my normal self. Like I had no energy. Oh, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, but I'm grateful. I'm not going to complain. And the other part of that is I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. So that puts me down a total of like 50 pounds in like a year and a half. It feels really good because I was kind of at a plateau back in July when I lost my Zoe girl. I ate an entire cake in like 5 days, maybe 5 days, probably 5 days. I had good intentions. I was going to freeze it while I was gone to the yarn crawl, and then I was gonna get the other half out for my birthday, which is in September, and then I was just gonna enjoy the cake again for my birthday. But things got crazy when I was getting ready to leave, and I was so focused on not forgetting something that I forgot to freeze it. So when I got home, that Sunday, I was sitting in my recliner talking to my husband for a little while, probably a couple of hours, okay? And then all of a sudden I was like, "Ooh," and my husband looked at me, he said and I got up and he's like, "You just remembered the cake in the refrigerator, didn't you?" I was like, "Yes. Yes, I did." It didn't last but a couple more days. Anyways, I gained 10 pounds. So I was calling it my cake baby. And it took a little while to get that 10 pounds off, and then I just kind of plateaued at the same weight. this whole fiasco kind of kickstarted me losing weight again. I'm gonna try to focus on eating healthier again, which I was doing really good. I had like almost completely cut sugar out of my diet, and then I ate the cake. And it was just downhill from there. I was like, there was a couple weeks I was having a big cup of hot cocoa, which is mainly marshmallows with a little bit of hot cocoa. I just kind of went off the rails. So, this is a good thing that I'm going to, be eating healthier most of the time. Like, I'm going to live my life too. But what I have realized is that when I eat healthier, I feel so much better. Like, I have energy after I eat versus when I don't eat healthy. Like, I just want to nap after I eat. I'm trying to behave, which is really hard because my husband and I are foodies and he's such a good cook. And I'm a good cook too. He does more cooking than I do. We're foodies. So it's kind of hard, but this has kind of given me that motivation again. So, anyways, let me jump into ALC news. So, the sassy wrap pattern, this one, is now out into the world. It was released, I think, last week. I'm pretty sure it was last Friday. So excited to have it out. My pattern testers did such an amazing job. I had such a great time with them. The Sassy Wrap is now available on Ravelry and Etsy. You get two patterns. You get a DK weight version and you get a sock weight version. And there's directions in there for the color work, but you can do the color however you want. I honestly think my next one, I'm thinking about just doing all variegated because I think it would be really, really pretty. One of my pattern testers, I don't remember the yarn she used. I need to look at the chat, but she used one of those big cakes of yarn that was a fade. It was like gray into pink and it was so pretty, and it was all like solid color. It wasn't variegated and it was gorgeous. The solid color really, really shows off the texture. Like, your color options are just endless with the pattern, and I can't wait to start seeing them pop up on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. That's like the best part. Like, designers, that just makes our days. Let me just tell you, when we see people like enjoying the pattern and tagging us in it. So if you get the Sassy Wrap pattern, tag me, like show me pictures of your whips when you finish it, all the things, because it just makes my heart so happy. And I'm hoping to have kits probably after the first of the year. We're just going to see. My plan was to have them before I released the pattern, and life happened, and I didn't want to delay the release because I had been talking about it and had already delayed it about a week. So if you love hand-dyed yarn and you want a Sassy Wrap kit, I will be announcing it. Jump on my email list because I'll let my email list know first, or Yarn Club members, of course, y'all will know first. Hoping that will be sometime in January. We'll see. Also hoping maybe to do like a crochet along in the spring. It's what I really would love to do because my friend Danielle and I have been doing crochet alongs for several months now. We've had like a monthly one and they've been smaller ones, but it's so much fun. I love just the community aspect of it, seeing people's projects, and I just think it's just a wonderful thing. It would be fun to do a bigger one. I'm working on December's Yarn Club. That's one of the reasons why I'm not jumping into doing the kits yet, because I need to get my Yarn Club members Happy Squishy Mail out to them. The theme this month is Bougie New Year. Well, it's been really fun. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil any surprises, but the colorways, I'm basing them off of, like, if you were kind of at, like, a bougie New Year party, like, the colors you would see, like, the dresses the women would wear or the decorations, and I'm really thinking, like, rich, vibrant colors. That's all I'm gonna say, and there's some glitz and glam in there, but I'm not gonna tell you how the glitz and glam works. I will be doing a reveal after they're out because I can't wait to share. I will also be opening to new members in January, which I usually don't open to new members in January. It's kind of a slow month, but I heard that Knit Crate just kind of shut down, and it hurt my heart for the people that look forward to their squishy mail. So I feel like I need to open to new members. So if there's somebody that is like super sad that they're not getting their Knit Crate, they can join ALC Yarn Club and they can still get their squishy happy mail. And it comes with an amazing community of friends. If you're not a Yarn Club member and you've been interested, I will have a link down below to the wait list. If you're on the wait list, you're the first to know, because if I do a limited amount, my wait list people get the spots first, and then I'll post it on social media. So that's all that I have as far as ALC. yarn news. Thank you for joining and chatting with me. I have missed y'all. I'm going to close with some encouragement. Think through this ordeal, and I'd already kind of come to this. Sometimes less is more. And one of the things that I have so many irons in the fire, y'all. 2022 has taught me just so much this year. It has been an amazing year. I'm so like just beyond grateful. One of the biggest takeaways from this year, less is more. I am going to go into 2023 and I'm going to have less on my to-do list. And the reason why is because I can show up more when I do less stuff than I can when I'm doing all of the things. 2023 is going to be, I'm going to double down and focus on growing my yarn club, showing up more for them. And the same with, I want to do some more crochet alongs. I want to grow my YouTube channel and continue to do Yarn Everywhere podcast. I would also love to do more crochet video tutorials, especially for some of my patterns. I'm also thinking about doing some, hey, if you're a crocheter and you want to learn to knit, I got you. And doing some like beginner-friendly knit tutorials. I mean, I'm kind of a beginner knitter, so it's gonna be like the blind leading the blind. I'm not gonna get too complicated. Just really like how I taught myself to knit coming from a crocheter's standpoint. I know it took me a really long time to kind of piece together finding the right video tutorials and all the things, and it was like I learned so much, but it was like a bunch of different takeaways from a bunch of different videos. I can take my experience and just give a crocheter like, "Hey, this is what I've learned," and hopefully help crocheters who want to learn to knit, learn to knit. That's kind of what my plan is for 2023, and I'm letting go of a lot of other stuff, and I'm gonna miss it. I really am. Like, I'm really sad to be letting go of my coaching group. I love those women. It has been such an honor to come alongside them and watch them grow their businesses and their mindsets and their social media. I learned so much through that. Like I know I grew as a person and things like that. And I truly believe that sometimes things are just seasonal. And I feel like that was a seasonal thing. I think I needed it just as much as the ladies needed it. And I'm sad to see that come to an end, but I feel like there's going to be so much good that's gonna come out of that, and I'm gonna be able to go into 2023 being able to show up more in different ways. If you're like me and you have a ton of irons in the fire and you just feel pulled into so many different directions and you feel like you just haven't been able to fully show up for everything, I think we just need to give ourselves permission to kinda look at things, kinda do a reset. Like, it's not that I don't love doing all of these things, but it's kinda like what am I saying yes to? Because when I'm saying yes to something, I'm going to have to say no to several other things. And sometimes you don't even realize what you're saying no to. And I'm really learning to prioritize resting and how important that is to just have that downtime and just have time to just do fun things or to just relax. That is kind of where I'm at for some of my 2023 goals. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And until next time, happy yarning. Bye for now.